Alright, doing a test. Seeing what you can see. Hang on. Gotta fit you in that helmet. Alright. Gotta be all this mouth breathing. So the phone is between my chin piece and I have a flap on the bottom of the helmet to keep the wind out. And so the phone's just resting on that. Can you see? So 83.6, 69,259. The motorcycle before that, a CX500. I did 100-mile commutes and usually more than about 1,000 miles a week. Like the commute was 100 miles each way, so you got 200 a day times 5 days is 1,000. But sometimes I would go up to the Rocky Mountain National Park and I would do a loop. It's this amazing, beautiful road, you know, and you can enjoy like a burger and a beer at Oscar Blues. Oh, hear BB King playing. All right, so the visor is up. And we are at dusk. Guess I should obey stop signs. Be a good boy, lad. Alright. I'm going to do a little part of this drive with the visor up. And then I will switch to visor down. You can see I'm going 30 miles an hour. If you stop and you zoom it, I would imagine the digital footage would let you catch, because the speedometer is right there in the back of the headlight. So I'd imagine you're getting a view from that. So this is 30 miles an hour going through a neighborhood. There's kids here everywhere, all over, kids and more kids and more kids. Alright. The most common accident when I'm driving, I try to pay attention. The most common accident is going to come from my left. Alright. Somebody's going to, or pull out, make a left in front of you. Like that car right there. It's turning right, but it saw me. Blinkers are liars. Problem is, their accuracy rate varies a whole bunch, and you can get up to like 10% error. So then all of a sudden you make choices assuming that they're not, like they're communicating with you, and then you're stuck. And since everything happens so fast and has a lot of energy behind it, I went off once on a highway. It was my big accident. Statistically, all motorcycles have one large accident. And on my one large accident, the other part is it takes place during the first 12 months on a new motorcycle. The vast majority, all of them. And this bike that I am on was 11 months old. I had done those thousands of miles, you know. Then like it was funny, like when I picked up the motorcycle, I was riding so much, I was like, book the first maintenance, and they're like, when? And I was like, Monday, I'll be back. And so I just kept the bike perfect. They helped me with that, because I would get on that motorcycle and I'm riding across a continent. And so I don't know, I really enjoyed and respected that. I was like, I viewed him as part of my team, you know. Like maybe you don't get to be the F-16 pilot or the A-10 Warhog, but maybe you got to make sure that thing always works so good. And it just worked. Alright. Isn't that nice? Oh. I gotta keep the visor somewhat cracked, because otherwise it fogs up, which is what I would do. In a driving rain, you would get into a dilemma that the water will shear off the visor, and then the wind coming into the helmet will like pick it up, and it makes this horizontal line of water smacking your face. So you gotta like hold your helmet the right angle so that it doesn't spray you like a shower head into your eyeballs when you don't have a little windscreen. So that was the smallest windscreen I could get. I kept that moment from happening so that I sit in a slipstream. Some bikes, like a Goldwing, the slipstring is so good that you don't, whether you're going 20 on that or 120, it feels the same. All right. Now the back end squirreled a little bit on that. The tires are kind of cold. They're 60 degrees. It's wet. They're DuPont tires, so they're kind of sticky. But I'm going to be apt to hydroplane a little bit if I get in see how the tires, see this moment here, like on this line, that gets super slick. Because it's like build up drops of tar and oil. And then it holds the water and it makes like a puddle. Painted lines, incredibly slick, way slick. These dips, like the manhole covers, oh, you don't want to pop a tire. Now on the upside, they don't have tubes in them. Like bicycle tires have tubes, and some older motorcycles have tubes. But then when you flat the tube, you lose your tire, like it's gone. What'll happen on a motorcycle is you're going to, it's going to feel like you were driving in snow or sand, you know, like the tire won't feel right, it'll feel a little loose. So right now, the handling of this bike kind of stinks because the grooves on the tires are worn down a little too low. So I'm going to hydroplane, or want to hydroplane, wherever there's puddles. Two, like there hasn't been a good rain since you had rush hour, so we still have like a fresh layer, fresh possibilities of a fresh layer of oil sitting there on top of the slick black tar nonsense they dribble in to fill the cracks. In the fall, collections of wet leaves. This metal grate, oh, it's not a metal one. There's a metal one. Some of those metal ones can be big, and they are just like, they're like snot rockets. They're so slick. It's unbelievable. There we go. Like the bike slipped a little from underneath me right there. Those expansion things, they put the steel. What they should do is put the steel in, but then shoot it with Line-X or whatever, Rhino Guard, some sort of bed liner for a truck, because then it has grit to it. So that then, like, they don't care, because it doesn't matter if you're big and heavy and slow like a truck. It might matter on a car, but then, you know, you're like driving a Porsche Cayman S and you're like, well, I intended to do that. That's really my fault. And after all, with my super stiff suspension, that frost heave usually is sitting a little bit uneven. Hence, that's why they built it, right? And so then your back end breaks loose. And you're like, well, that was kind of fun. All right, uneven pavement. This is fun. So we're going to have a dip where you usually like drop off. Sometimes they make like a ridge there where it gets pushed up, makes like a little jump. Now the center of this is loose stone, and we got mixed going down the sides. So the first thing is where you look. If I'm looking down here on the video game, I'm making it too hard on myself, right? Like, look way up. Do you see that there's a stoplight down there? There's no car really right behind us, so we can just let the engine lug a little bit, hold the gear. Sewer manholes. Another thing is when something knocks you up in the air, get your butt up out of the seat. Let your legs be a suspension for you. Now I got a seat and a backrest, so I kind of have to get up off the seat. Otherwise, it's like you get smacked and then your back gets broken. There's a good snort for you. Allergies. The back of this phone's going to be disgusting. My nose has not yet stopped running. It's pouring down my face. The back of the phone. Although, you know what's good allergy medicine for the pollen? Huge pollen count this year in Ohio. Be outside in it. Sneeze. Give thanks. So your nose runs. Move on. And for me at least, it's been getting better. Eyeballs. Protein buildups on the back of your eyeball lids. It's quite unfortunate. Alright, I got a big truck behind me. So I can't see what's coming into him. So the only time I like to see behind me is just like I'm sitting at a stoplight, what's coming up? You know, I've seen semi trucks not pay attention and come up and not brake. So when you're sitting at a light, you get in the habit of, you know, paying attention. Look. See what's going on. Enjoy it. It's pretty rain. All the flowers are getting a drink. Clover started to bloom. Bees. You know, last year when the bees came up, because it was warmer sooner, when the insects were ready for food or needed food, they were like looking around and busy, but there were no flowers. That is one expensive expedition, right? Like, I think sometimes we forget that the pyramids were a byproduct of bounty, of excess, of freedom, not enslavement. You cannot enslave your way to a pyramid. I would give you one. Genghis Khan as an argument to that. Crazy person knows something. Who reads too many books? So my finger here has a little squeegee so I can like wipe off my screen like a windshield wiper. So we got mixed brick. These grooves, these grooves can be a problem. These grooves want to take your tire wherever the direction is that the grooves go, and every once in a while, like most of the time the people are good about it on highways and stuff, but every once in a while, like they'll run the grooves at like an angle or something and it'll try to grab you and throw you. I think because it makes it so easy to have accidents that the people using the machine got better at using the machine. Alright, so we have dusk now. So I run my high beam because headlights deteriorate very quickly. Particularly incandescent light bulbs. The filament, like they give you peak lumens. The most amount of light they're able to produce is early off in their lifetime. And so then it just kind of drops off like this big steep curve. See where the water's sitting on the road there on the lane where the tires are? There's a bacteria or an algae that eats the rubber from the tires. But every once in a while you can get the rubber to build up faster than the algae can eat it or the bacteria can eat it. And it's going to be more likely to have water. In the middle, you don't get as many ruts around here, but you're likely to get more oils. And I'll be less likely to hydroplane. So I'm going 40 miles an hour, and it suggests these corners should be done at 25. Here we go. We'll go 30. We can go down to 25. The leaves right there by the curb. My back wheel slid out a little on those wet leaves right there. That was at 28 miles an hour. You know, there, look at all the debris. So all the debris got knocked out of the trees from the storm, and now you got wet leaves sitting on top of wet pavement, and then you take your motorcycle tire over the top of it, and it just doesn't work out. Manhole covers. I did my turn just then. I ended up drawing my arc over a manhole cover, and the rear wheel slipped out a little bit. Well, that's kind of like, for me, when you're young and like going skiing, where the two slopes come together. There's like a ridge of snow, and it's just fun to jump it. I like to practice when the bike is lost its control, its composure. Because if I'm always practicing for fun and it's a game, then when I'm out of choices or I have to really push the moment, then my skill set will be calm and I'll be able to most likely get the best result. But as we all know, I'm a bit broken on the inside. So when everything goes wrong, right when it goes wrong, that's when I don't know, I'm calm. Holidays, Christmas. The problem with people who are in the cluster B spectrum is it always has to be about them. So the holidays, the things, just so much. And they gave me that. I got a spot. Yeah. But you need to tell me honestly what it is you're doing, and we're not going to do it on the phone. No games, no bullshit. Wherever you are, however you are, the fastest way away, the fastest, shortest trip from where you are, someplace vibrant and healthy, is honesty. I'm not going to go into that conversation. Alright. Oh, didn't use my blinker. Sorry. Somebody's really behind me. Alright. It hurts my nose. So I'll film at night the portion where I hit a deer. Alright. I mean, it wasn't me. Totally wasn't me. Whoever you think it was, it's not him. It couldn't be him. It's most definitely, of all people, not going to be him. All right, man.